Hello, everybody. Hi. Welcome. This is the theater casting workshop specifically for the Wizard of Oz Youth Edition. Welcome. I'm super excited to have you here. In the past, we did that Saturday workshop that I absolutely loved, but I kind of wanted to be able to give you a little bit more like meat in the material I was giving you and a little more time to answer questions and for you to be able to look at it and do a little bit more practicing at home so that you could come back better between today to tomorrow and Wednesday. And then before we even get started on the 19th. So hello, everybody. Good to have you here. I'm super excited to see all of these new faces. So hello, welcome. Welcome if you are the actor, if you're the student or parents, we highly encourage you to be here as well because, hey, theater is just more fun when the whole family gets involved, right? And when they come out of rehearsal and you ask them, what'd you work on today? And they're like, I don't know, stuff. You're like, come on, give me a little bit more. But with a little more information and education, you know how to ask better questions. And so that you can get a little bit more involved throughout the process that they would love for you to be a part of. Now, if you're like, oh, what if I can't make it a specific day? I have a replay page available for you guys. And get that to go up. Okay, so we're going to go to the replay page, and that is right here, which is cfpatheater.com/workshop replays. Okay, and if you click on that in Sweet Dash, you'll see that, and I'm in your portal, and then I'll also, of course, send in an email. Email, you'll get all these emails from me. So if you haven't gotten emails from me, make sure you get me out of your spam because they're coming at you. They're coming at you strong. Okay. So this is where you'll find all the replays. Today, the day one worksheet is there, audition tips. These are all the same things. It's not extra. It's just a few different places you can find what you need for the workshop. And finally, this is a little bonus for you, the Wizard of Oz Youth Edition script again. Okay. So first, when we start class, you'll get one of these. Look how big these books are. Yeah, the Wizard of Oz book is very large. But this is the script you'll get. But it's a digital world now. You don't have to wait until day one to read the script. And this is the same with every show you're in. Everything's online. Yeah, not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be able to find it online, but of course you can. So all you have to do is search for a PDF. There's a lot of ways to get like computer viruses like that. So just make sure you're on safe sources and they are safe downloads. But what I gave you is, I did the work for you, making sure that I'm not sending you any viruses. Okay, so here's your script. But a lot of what we talk about in this workshop is just how to be prepared to feel more confident when you go to the first class, first of all, because give me like raise your hand if this will be your first experience with, yes. Okay. I love it. Welcome. It's a lot of fun. And what I love to do is just try to help you be less stressed, right? How can we be less stressed in order to have more fun? So now let's dive into lesson 1 of the theater casting workshop. So you saw your portal, you see where you can get the replays. You can always go back and check your email. I'll send you an email every day, 1 hour before, where you can click on that Zoom link, make sure you're in, make sure it works for you. All right. Everybody good? I think so. Okay, so welcome. Here we are on module 1 of the theater casting workshop, and I'm going to share my screen with you to dive in. So when you understand what the casting teams look for, your next audition feels less like a mystery and more like a win. Woohoo! Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Like I said, just going in less stressed all around. Because we want to see you, we want to see the real you, not, we want to see how you'll come out of your shell and perform on stage, how you'll really be in rehearsal so that we can work with you and help you grow throughout that process. And I'm talking about theater within CFPA at Central Florida Performing Arts, but all the tips I'm giving you today are for every show you'll ever audition for, and actually every interview you'll go to in your future as like an adult, okay, when you're trying to get your first job or when you're trying to get a job. All these things, auditioning, interviews, they connect, and the better you can get at it now as younger in life, the easier it's going to be forever. Okay. And that's another reason why I absolutely love theater. It teaches us how to express ourselves verbally, physically, and in a professional way. So what we're going to cover in this workshop is first, module 1, what we're talking about today, audition basics and first impressions. Now, if you've taken this workshop, you might already be like, yeah, I've heard this stuff before. Sure. But we're going to go in more in depth. And then, like I said, if you have any questions, put them in the chat box. But we're definitely going to start with audition tips because it's the same. We always want to see the same, whether you're at CFPA or a professional Broadway audition, we're looking for the same thing. We're looking for confidence. We're looking for poise. We're looking for being able to speak up and out. And we want to see you, the person behind what you're doing. All right. Module 2, which is what we're going into. The next lesson is role fit, research, and puzzle pieces. So basically, where do you fit in this show? Where do you fit in The Wizard of Oz, and how can you audition successfully to put yourself in the right place so that you can be successful in this group of students, of actors? Module 3, we go into audition material and callbacks. All right, so we will get into those later on. All right, so today is, when you're auditioning, guys, it is not just about getting the part. It's not about getting the dream part, because how many of you in your brain right now are like, oh, I want to be Dorothy, or I want to be Glinda because I just saw Wicked and that movie was awesome, right? So what you're feeling right now, I'm hoping by the end of these 3 days, you'll have a better perspective of some other roles you might want to be auditioning for, or maybe you can see yourself in, because the lead is not always the end all be all. And there actually is a lot more responsibility and homework with that. So you have to be ready for that. Okay. So I'm going to say this for you, read out this quote. So it's about learning how to show up like a pro. We want to be professionals. Yeah. Professionals in the room, showing your best self. So with confidence, character, insight, and the skills to stand out in any audition room. So whether this is your first show or your 5th, you'll leave knowing how to make smarter choices, avoid common mistakes, and feel ready when your name is called. That's the scariest part, isn't it? When like you're sitting out there and you don't know if you're going to be next, or that's the fear before you get going. So that's what we want to set you up for, to be ready to go. And so that when they say your name, you're like, yes, I got this. Rather than, oh no, this is going to be terrible. Because if you're telling yourself inside this is going to be terrible, then it probably will be, right? We have to speak kindly to ourselves. We have to play some mind tricks to help ourselves be more confident. And that's what we're going to get in today, is sometimes we're not, but you still have to act the part, right? Yeah. First thing is show personality. Okay. If you haven't already, feel free to click on the audition tips worksheet. It's not day 1 worksheet, it is audition tips worksheet. And it looks like this. And if you're, oh, you can't see it. Okay, it looks like that. So if you are a visual person, feel free to go download that now. And we are going to be following along with some of these things. We're starting with number 1, and that is show your personality. A lot of times we go in thinking we need to be somebody else. But we want to get to know you. Yes, you have to act, sure, as a different character, but we still want to see you, the human being, because 99% of the putting on a show is in the rehearsal room. 99%. My math is off, okay? But most of it, let's say 90%, because then we have show week at the end. So most of the time we have with you is with you, the individual, and what we want to see is like your quirks, the things that make you awesome, because everybody's unique and everybody has their strengths, and we want to get to know you, the person. So I like to put this little quote in here if you see it down at the bottom. This is from Newsies, but he says, I got personality, in case you remember that. They're like, what are you going to do? How are you going to sell papes? He's like, I got personality. And he's right? Like people want to buy their papes from him because he's got personality and he's cute and gives off that great personality. Okay, next up is exude confidence. I think this is so funny because you're like, yeah, I'm going to go in there confident. I'm going to do this school project confident. I'm going to like just go out there and be confident. And you're like, yeah, but I'm terrified. So how the heck am I supposed to do that? Are you with me? Okay. So honestly, the truth to being confident is practicing, repetition, doing it over and over and over again. And then as we get more comfortable with it, that confidence starts to come out. Okay. And the other thing, when we're not confident yet, that's where we have right here, act the part. Yeah. If you are not confident and you walk in, I want you to act like you are. Okay. Which is actually pretty funny because if you've seen The Wizard of Oz, you know when we meet the lion, he acts super confident and then he's like, oh no, I'm actually a coward. Okay. And that's when they get to know him and then they learn how to help him overcome his struggles of his fears. And then he gets his courage at the end, right? So that's the same thing for you here or for all of us when we are starting something new, not just theater, when we're going into our first day of school and we're terrified. Okay. Act confident. Then confidence, it attracts confidence. Yeah. And that will help, helps you make friends. It attracts, it's like, oh, people want to be around other people who are smiling and look engaged and look excited, because there have been some times when I see people come in and run to the back corner of the room. Okay. Well, like it's hard to join you if you've excluded yourself and put yourself in the corner, right? Nobody puts baby in the corner and nobody's going to put you in the corner. So when you come into your audition, you're going to act confidently. And the way we do that is also with our posture. Okay. Let's break down this a little bit more. If you're reading your notes, if you're reading your worksheet, it says, body language plays a big part in this from the moment you walk in the door. So when auditioning, don't rock back and forth, speak clearly without rushing, and use pauses for punctuation. Okay. So when you walk into the room, that is when, look at me right now. Like I'm not sitting here like this. I'm not talking to you like this, looking away from the camera. I'm sitting up. My back, the chair of my back is like, I'm not leaning back in my seat. I'm here, I'm engaged, I'm forward, I'm lifted, I'm here for you. I'm giving you eye contact when I can see that camera. Okay, so same thing for you. When you walk in, stand up tall. Everywhere, not just your auditions. Yeah, posture is part of your health, people. So stand up tall, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. In fact, let's do it now because posture is so important for us. We're going to turn sideways so I can see you in the camera. Slouch, start with slouching, head down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lengthen out our spine and roll our shoulders up, back, and down. You're going to feel like you're sticking your chest out and it feels yucky and embarrassing, but it's not. I promise you, this looks a lot worse than this. Okay, so here we go. We're down and we're going to sit up. So elongate your spine, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And now give your chin just a slight lift because we don't want to be here either. Yeah. You see? Yeah, we want that head in line and the chin lifted ever so slightly, because also usually when we're on the stage, there's a balcony, there's people here, but there's people up and out. And we want to present ourselves big, open to the entire audience. Even now, as I'm speaking smallly to a camera, I'm not just here. I'm trying to be lifted up to out to all of you, welcoming you in. Okay? So that is how you can show confidence even when you are so terrified inside. Okay? You want to start really big. You want to start confident. So when you walk in, we go, oh, okay. can't wait to see what you have for us, rather than, hi, and we're worried you're going to start crying, which is totally fine. Many of us have cried in auditions. That happens all the time. Don't worry about it. It's stressful. But part of that also is because of what you're telling yourself and what you're putting in your brain, and you're bringing yourself down to that crying place. Whereas if you go, whoa, okay, here we go, and you are acting the part that you are more confident, I promise you, you will be. Okay, let's go on. If you have any questions about that, we'll come back to it. So next we're moving into dress for success. I feel like I always talk about this one, and sorry, I'm like harping on it, but if you dress like a slob, you feel like a slob. If you dress for success, you will personally do a better job. And that's why in rehearsals, in classes, I do not like sloppy clothing. It's actually not allowed. You are supposed to be wearing form-fitted clothing, because what do we do when we wear a baggy sweatshirt? We put it over our hands like this, and we roll our shoulders up, and we slouch, and we get all cozy, because sweatshirts make us feel cozy. And it lets us hide inside of our sweatshirts when we're feeling a little stressed, especially when we're trying to make new friends. So the baggy sweatshirts, they're not allowed. Take it off. We have to use our hands on stage. Imagine if we used expression but stopped at the hand, right? That would be crazy. We have to use our entire body when we're on the stage, when we're public speaking. Look at here, my hands are going crazy because I'm really overdoing it. But you got to use your hands. So make sure that we're not wearing any baggy sweatshirts, baggy pants. You're dressed in a way that makes you feel confident. I always say business, smart casual, or your church outfit, because if you've never worn heels before, ladies, and then now at your audition, it's the first day ever you want to wear heels, you're probably going to feel extra stressed and a little bit more like a mess. And I'm here to help you feel less stressed, right? To be set up for success before you walk in the door, because when you're at that audition, you're terrified. I know it, and you will be, no matter what. Even what we're talking about today, you'll still be nervous. But all the things that you have control over, you can set up way ahead of time, right? So let's talk about even this as I'm talking to you here. I had my outfit picked out way long ago, because this is just what I wear in this type of environment, because I make a lot of videos like this. And I know I can move, and I can dance, and I can boogie down if I need to. So it's all about preparation. Okay. So let's just be, I'm going to be a little more specific for you guys. If you're going to an audition or an interview, gentlemen, we should be in a church outfit. So that means nice slacks and a polo or a button down, or not really shorts. If you maybe have, not really shorts. Yeah, that's rarely going to work out. Definitely no basketball shorts or anything like that. You want to be, you want to look nice, and you do your hair. Okay, ladies, we have to do so much with all this hair and sometimes the makeup. Boys, at least brush your hair, okay? So, does that make sense? And then for ladies, it depends on the show. Sometimes it might, or it depends what role you're going out for, but still usually, a nicer outfit. But if you're not comfortable in a dress or a skirt, first of all, you always put shorts underneath them. Yeah, I'm a dancer. I'm a professional dancer, so I'm always ready to give a nice high kick. It's called a high batma. And if I've been in auditions before when they've said, "Oh, so you're a dancer? Can you show us something?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and I kicked my face. But if I didn't have shorts on, I'd be like, "Yeah, but I can't do it today." And then it's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to move on to somebody else who can show me what we need to see." So wear shorts, but if you're not comfortable in a dress or skirt, that's fine too. Nice pants or a nice outfit. Again, something that still shows the best parts of you, and choose good colors for you, colors that make you feel good. If you feel better in black, that's fine. If you're, I like bright colors. Yeah, as you can see, I'm like, hot pink. But I like bright colors, so that's usually what I go for. My audition outfit used to always be mint green with white polka dots because I had this like bubbly personality plan going in. And so, but that was my dress. And that was always my dress. And when it came to audition day, I didn't wake up going, oh no, what am I going to wear today? It's like, all right, put on the dress, let's go. Make sure it's ironed. Okay. So one other thing that sometimes we think that we need to come in costume. You don't need to come in costume. You'll never go to an audition in costume. You can kind of play with it. Like when we did Rock of Ages, you can add accessories from the 80s. So you can add bracelets or chokers or something that would make sense with the show, but you don't want to come in like a full cow costume to be the cow that flies across in the tornado. You know what I mean? There's definitely comedy in some areas, but yeah, you don't need to be packing your cow costume. Okay, so like I said, these things right here might be repeats for some of my old students, but always a good reminder. And something else to make sure we feel comfortable up here and that we're well supported. Yes. And so that if I asked if you had to start running around in the room or if you had to lean forward, you're not like, oh, my shirt's falling off, or oh, I'm having problems, right? Make sure you're in something you feel good in, you can move in, and that you've practiced in it more. It's not like the first day you've ever worn it and then you find out all these terrible things. Okay, so the first action step I want you guys to do today is I want you to pick out your outfit. Okay, pick out your audition outfit. Now, don't spend 3 hours doing this. It is so not worth that. Something simple, not a lot of patterns. Just pick it out, put it in one spot, and then it would be even better if you wear it at some point before you actually go to your audition. Don't spill a hot fudge popsicle on it, but there you go. Pick it out, wear it so that you're comfortable with what you have. And again, alleviating that stress. Okay. Actions. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Hit you out. Hit the microphone. Okay, so pick out your audition outfit for today. Do we have any questions? Everybody doing okay? Yes. Okay. So like I said, today we're still getting started with those audition basics. The next thing is warm up. Okay. Warm up. I think warm up always sounds like, oh, I don't want to warm up. Like I have to take time to warm up. Warming up can be fun and it should be fun. Yeah. I would assume that a lot of us don't exactly know how to warm up vocally and physically. Guess what? YouTube is out there. Guess what? I've provided resources in the portal that says vocal warm-up, click here. Another one that's a dance warm-up with Miss Brittany, click here to warm up. Okay? And they're not long. I do my own vocal warm-up every day, and it's 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Yeah, what can you do in 8 minutes? Like, brush your teeth and go get breakfast. I don't know. It's really, really short to do the warm-up. But the other reason, yeah, stay safe and all these good things. But the main thing, again, is to help alleviate stress. Okay? If you're waiting out in the waiting room before you come into your audition, you got to get the wiggles out. You got to shake it out. You have to move physically. And it really, really will help you relax, because when we're singing with tension, it's not going to come out the way you want it to. Okay. When we do anything with tension, when you meet somebody new with all that tension, we're tense, we can feel it. And the more you can loosen up, the more comfortable you're going to feel. Thumbs ups. You got it? You with me here? Okay. So, that's why I'm going to say, do a physical warm up. If I would do one at home, because you never know what happens when you get there. People might be ready for you early and they might be like, oh, are you ready now? Let's take you in so you can be with this other group. And you're like, sure, because you don't want to disappoint. But the real answer is, but I haven't. I have to go to the bathroom. I need to put my shorts on and I need to do these things. Okay, so it's okay to say, actually, I just need a minute. And then I just need a minute and then I'll be ready in a couple. Okay, or just make sure you're ready before they see you. when our auditions, so auditions for our show are the Saturday after we start. So this is a bonus activity that we're doing right now where you guys are getting these like extra tips, but everybody else will begin on the first night. And that's where we specifically talk about every song and like what you need to have for that. But we're going to talk about all that too. So we're just getting into it. Okay, so warm up, and then you need to, so we just have to loosen up. The main thing with warming up is to get out the wiggles. Get out the wiggles. You'll feel more confident. Do it with a friend, do it with a parent, but don't do it in a place where you feel embarrassed to really go for it. Like if I've been in places like that and you're like, oh, I feel like I'm in the way here. Like, so you do it really small. Like, no, if you're going to do it, you got to go big. You got to reach and really let yourself go so that you can get yourself in that headspace of, okay, I'm ready to give it my all, because that's what you're doing. So you guys know all these things. Show your personality, exude confidence. If you're not feeling confident, you act like you've got confidence. Dress for success and have that prepared, because the main thing of winning in the long run with everything we do is just being prepared. So that comes up to our final point for today, and just like our basic knowledge is do the prep work. Do the prep work. And that's also why you're here, because you're like, but what is the prep work? Huh? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to know? Exactly. Okay. So when you are getting ready for a show, you can come in to your audition in a nice outfit and have a nice voice and be like, okay, I'm here. What are we doing? But it's not going to go that well for you. Okay. I have a story that I'm going to tell you about. I'll just cut to it now, about their made up names. What is it? Jasmine and Joe. Okay. The made up names, but real stories. So Joe came to his audition one day. Joe has been a student a long time, and Joe was there in like sloppy outfit. It didn't look, it was like, wait, I thought you knew how to prepare. What's going on here? And had nothing prepared from the script at all. Now, let me tell you, we will be teaching you everything on the first night. So coming back knowing nothing doesn't even make sense. You can come back like unsure, not sure if we want to hear this one or this one, but not having a clue of anything, that just tells us you weren't listening. Now, realistically, I know as a teacher and as a human being that probably is just because we're too nervous or too shy to like pick what we think we're best at, you know, when we're just kind of getting in our own way of being like, oh, well, I don't know what I should do. And we're like, what do you mean you don't know? You should know. Because that is part of it. So, you have to make a decision. Yay, making decisions. So this is the script, and it's pretty long. Yeah. If you're looking for reading material, I recommend reading it. If you're looking for a movie, I recommend watching it. That is really the best thing you can do when you're coming to an audition. So when I say do the prep work, if you came in having seen the movie and are familiar at least with these 4 characters, you're already going to be more confident, be more successful, because you're not lost the whole time. Have you ever had a homework assignment, like a class in school, and your teachers say, you know, on Monday we're going to be doing this, so if you could read these pages. Okay, so remember how great it is when you've actually read those pages and you're like, wow, I actually know what the teacher's talking about. And then there's many other times when you're like, oh yeah, I should have read that, but I haven't gotten to it yet because I'm a little behind in my reading. Yeah, I know we've all been there. But those times when you've actually read it and the teacher's talking about it, you can comprehend it so much better and so much faster than when you're lost trying to play catch up. So luckily, what we do is really fun, and homework I'm telling you to do is watch a movie, read a story that is one of the most famous stories of all time that people have really said is a great story. So yeah, luckily what we do is really fun. Another piece of homework is to listen to the music. How many of you like listening to music? Yeah. Yeah. You might have different styles of favorite music, but we still like listening to music. I will say it's very hard to enjoy something when you hear it the first time, right? That's when you're like you're just listening to it. You haven't really caught on to it yet. Maybe you haven't learned all the like HOTT, all the letters yet, and you don't know the dance like everybody else. But then you hear it again, and you hear it again, and you hear it again, and now it's like your best jam. Okay. So the way we can be prepared is by watching the movie, reading the script, and listening to the music. Now, I will say often it's of those three, it's the hardest to read the script. But like I said in the beginning, they're available online. And I'm giving it to you. But all I'm telling you today is I encourage you to watch the movie. With some shows, a lot of musical theater shows, we always do a junior or a youth edition, and that just simply is about the time. And to be honest with you, I think the junior versions are often better because they keep all the good parts and they kind of leave out some of the fluff or some of those extra songs or sections that were like, all right, you don't need that part anyway. So we get all the meat, we get all the good stuff. And, but parent disclosure, yeah, sometimes they're not PG or G rated. Okay, so that's up to you, parents, to watch or take care of that as you need. But remember, there's always YouTube and junior versions out there. Okay. I'm sharing. Okay, so that's how we do the prep work. And now that might be like that really is a very mature way of going about this. And when you're in school and you don't have time, look, I totally get it. If you have a lot of auditions, you don't always have the time to watch the movie, listen to the entire soundtrack, and read the script. But like it's summer, and if you're just hanging out, might as well do it anyways, right? Or if you have a drive or a long ride or something like that, might as well. Okay, so I told you my story about Joe who came in, and then when we ask, let's hear this scene on page 55, and then it's like, oh, but I've never even opened this book before, and is there even a page 55? You don't want to be that person, right? You want to be the person with the, here, all my stickies, with the sticky note. Let me show you, because this is the best way to do this. Okay, see, I added a tab in there. Oh, you can't see. I added this little tab. You want to be the person when I ask for, what are you singing today, to go, I'm singing the Munchkin song starting on page 16. We're like, okay, excellent. All right, so I'm going to give you Jasmine's story. Okay, so Jasmine was a student who came in and actually pretty recently, and brand new students. So the hardest thing when you're coming into a new program is that we don't know you yet, right? So we have to cast you with the little information you're giving us. And that's why I'm trying to give you all these secrets right now, what we're looking for, what everybody's looking for. So Jasmine came into the room dressed to the nines. Yeah. Felt great, looked great, and was nervous for sure. That's totally fine. I can hear the shaking in the voice, and sometimes would lift the book a little high and wouldn't be able to see. And then we would ask her to lower the book so we could see her face. She would take that correction. And so we could see that how hard she had worked just to get there in the room, how hard she had prepared for this. And while she didn't know the story front, back, and sideways, that's totally fine, that she was willing to learn, that she was willing to take corrections. And we loved seeing that. Loved. Okay. So this is my little story. Joe was lost in his script. And then also when you're scripting, you've never opened this thing, you're more likely to do this. And we want to see your face because this is called acting, right? Acting is not just your mouth. Acting is your facial expressions, the intonation of your voice, and your whole body. So we need to be able to see your face. Just, you can even tell like this. as I'm speaking to you here, when I cover my mouth with the book, the sound from the microphone is much worse. See, the sound is terrible. Okay? And it's the exact same when it comes to the theater. So we want your voice to echo throughout the room, really project, and set you up for success there. Okay, so feel free to tab your books once, and I would bring those on the first day when you start learning this material, so that you don't have to go home and go, oh, what was it again? And have to go back and do your homework. No, we're not trying to do extra work here. I'm not telling you to do extra work. I'm trying to help you save time and be successful throughout the process so that you don't have to go back and go, oh, what was that again? What was that again? So your assignment for your research assignment, because I gave you all those different ways we can research a show. We can listen to the music, we can watch a movie, we can read the script, but your research for today is to watch the movie. And guess what? You have some options because Wicked I had on yesterday on Amazon Prime. So that was a pleasant surprise. But remember, I know sometimes the first thing I always hear after I say watch the movie is, yeah, but I don't have that streaming. I don't have that. Yeah, everything's on YouTube. Okay, everything's on YouTube. And if you can't find the professional versions, that's okay. There's amateur versions, or you can type in The Wizard of Oz Youth Edition and see other junior shows. But I do love to watch the movie because, hey, it's a great movie, and it's a very old film, but you'll learn a lot. And then I say down here, we have fun homework, don't we? Like, this is fun. I'm asking you to watch TV. How crazy is that? Okay, so that is the brunt work of our lesson for today. Okay, so let me I'm going to answer some questions here because I know things are popping up because we're talking about auditions. I know I'm stressing you out. So what will we be doing for auditions? At every audition, there are 3 elements, right? Because in theater, we are striving to be triple threats, meaning singers, dancers, and actors. Okay, so there is a time when you do a dance audition, and that's in a big group, and then you perform it in smaller groups. And then there is when you do a singing audition, and that's when you'll need to sing by yourself, because it's a different skill being able to sing by yourself as it is to sing with other people, and we just want to hear where you're at on that. And remember, as someone behind the table, we are always on your team. We want you to be great. We want you to be the best you can possibly be, because we're putting you in our show and we want you to be awesome. It's not a competition. I'm not giving you a trophy for if you did this, or if you did this so great or this so great. You're coming in with what you have, and I want to help you grow and help put on an amazing show with everybody else around you. So it's not a competition. We're just trying to put you in the best place where you're going to be successful and where you're going to have fun. Yeah, we always put that in consideration too, of your counterparts and who you can work with, because chemistry is a real thing of just friendships and people. Okay, another thing, this is a great question, is can we audition with the book? So I'm talking so much about preparation. That does not mean memorized, okay? I don't want to say never, but you don't have to go to auditions completely memorized, okay? There's definitely something to be said for being prepared. If somebody comes in and they've practiced and what I like to see is that you're holding your book. You're so familiar with it that you can say, your next line is, who are you? You're following along. So you say, who are you? And then maybe your next one, but you're not doing this. Who are you? Well, I am the great and powerful Wizard of Oz. You're a very bad man. Like you've never seen these words before in your life, right? So you do not need to be memorized. I would rather you hold the book, but then be aware that you can't do all these extravagant things because you'll have a book in your hand. I would rather you do that than you get totally lost and flustered and then you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot what's next. No, then you can just look down, yo ho, let's open up and sing. Because it's an audition, we're never expecting you to be perfect. We're trying to put you in the place where you're going to be the best. All right. So, yes, at CFPA, we always do auditions with material from our script, and that has to do just with it's a part of how we're teaching, and we want to be able to teach this material inside and out. But when you go to a different audition or like in the professional world, then you would not be performing a song specifically from the show, but you are performing something in the same style as the show. Okay. And that's why with how we're teaching and how we're teaching you the style of this show, it's a part of our education. So I know some theater programs do that. They encourage you to do material from the show. Some say, do not do that. And then all you have to do is ask, would you like to hear something from the show or something different in the style of the show? Okay. And also as beginners, you should not be expected to know what that would mean. Like there's a lot of research that goes behind the styles similar to that of these characters within The Wizard of Oz. I have books of it on my shelf here behind you, but this is my profession and my career. So we would not expect that of you. So these are wonderful questions. Let's break it down a little bit more of your vocal. The thing you will sing at your audition will really determine a lot of where you are cast because it's musical theater. Yes. And we can teach a lot of the acting styles, but you have to be able to sing the part. And I'm not saying that to discourage you, but the sheet music or the song is the song. I can play as the director. I can play with choreography. I can give you different steps. I can make it more advanced or easier, but I cannot make the vocals. I cannot make the songs easier for you. Okay, that is written in this book and it must be done as is. All right. So in case you're starting to hear the music and you're like, oh, this song is really hard to sing, but something else feels a lot easier for you, slide to the one that feels a little bit easier for you, because the one that feels hard for you actually is easier for someone else, for a different type of voice. And that's perfectly fine. There's no problem with that. That's like one of the things in casting that we get so terrified about is that we just think we need to be the lead. But even the people who are the leads are not the lead in every show because they're a different style is needed for every show. Okay. And like the skills you have with your voice and with your vocals might have worked for the Little Mermaid that we just did, but for the Wizard of Oz will be completely different. So I'm going to give you guys a secret. This show is totally different than any other show we've done before. And Altmans, if you're still here with me, you're going to love me for this. This is an actor's show. There are so many scenes and they are so long. Okay. There's a lot of memorization. So actually there's, not as many songs in it. And the ones that we do here, they kind of come back. But you know me, we'll zhuzh it up and make it big and fun. But the scenes in this are huge. There are characters and so many different people who will have more lines than usual in a musical. And it's likely that we're going to do different actors for the opening and the closing, just because it's a lot of lines. Like, and the lines in here, because it is an old musical, are very wordy. Yeah, very wordy. If you ever do like a British script, also very wordy. Yes. But like the Wizard of Oz, he or she, however that will be, has huge paragraph lines. So that's another thing when you are starting to look at the show, looking at the script, that if you're like, ooh, that kind of intimidates me. I want some lines, but I don't want those paragraphs of lines, then that might not be a role you want to look at. Maybe you're the opposite. You're a good narrator, good storyteller, and you have a lot of emphasis with your voice. Okay. So it's totally crazy how many scenes there are, how long they are, and all the different characters in this story. So that is really, really exciting because very few musicals are written like this. And that's a bonus for you. Oh, okay. So somebody also says, should we watch Wizard of Oz or Wicked or both? Look, Wicked is just a good movie, so I might as well see it at some point. I love how, especially for my senior troupe, I love how the Munchkins are portrayed in Wicked. So in case you're thinking, thinking about the Munchkins, like how are we going to do that? Look more at Wicked and how that costuming works, because it's stunning and cool, and it's almost more like hobbits in Lord of the Rings than like how it's initially done from the beginning. And so again, that's just part of your time and what you want to do. If it were me, watching movies are fun. So The Wizard of Oz is known to be a good movie. I would watch it. Wicked is supposed to be a good movie. I would watch it. And I think they're both PG. I'm not sure. So you double check that. Ask your parents and your screen time and all these things that you got to do. But if you're looking for something to watch, might as well, because it just gives you a deeper understanding of what's going on. And then, or like, especially if you just start scrolling. I know how that can be, and you're scrolling. Yesterday, this was crazy. My mom's in town, and we were watching a song from Guys and Dolls, because we were talking about choreography and how that works. And then, we were on YouTube, so it brought up another really old musical, another song from Guys and Dolls. And then it brought up something, Kansas City from Oklahoma, which is a really old musical. And we watched all these numbers. And okay, sure, we're a musical theater family, but not everybody in the room were musical theater people. And we all sat there going, oh, this is so interesting, and enjoyed it, because it was like watching a time capsule, watching Oklahoma, a musical from, I don't remember the year right now, but like the very first movie, and the Guys and Dolls movie we were watching was 1955. So it's just interesting. You watch what you want to watch, but those are the resources, and it's all available to you. Okay. That's what we're going to talk about. That's everything for today, because tomorrow we're going to dive into each character specifically. And with a little bit more research, you'll be with me more there. So feel free to go out, watch a movie, listen to the music, do what you want to do, pick out that audition outfit. And I did create a worksheet for you that is optional if you are like really invested in this and want to go to that next step. I'll show you that now, but you can also just go download it and do it on your own. Okay. So you already saw this script. Oh, well, no, I only clicked on it, but this is what the digital version looks like. Okay. So obviously there's a whole bunch of stuff here in the beginning. Just scroll down to where it says libretto. Yeah, that means script. And then scene 1, and take it away from there. I also love reading the script along with watching like a youth version on YouTube, because then it kind of gives you the visuals while reading. But hey, that's all up to you. Okay, these are the audition tips that I included for you. Today we talked about number 1, show your personality. Number 2, bring confident energy, even if you're nervous. Number 3, be prepared, which actually we talked about. 5th, dress smart and sharp, and prep your voice and body, as in a warm-up. Okay. Those were all the basics of auditions that we talked about today, but you can read through that or print it out as like a reminder before you go in, so that you can be like, shoulders back, stand up tall, speak loudly and confidently. One thing that always kills me is when when I ask for your name and you're like, Brittany, what? What's your name? Brittany. I know that sometimes we're nervous, but the one place where you should never be nervous is when you're telling somebody your name. Okay, you know your name. You know your name. There is no way you can get that wrong, right? So you just have to always speak your name with confidence, because, hey, that's your name. Be loud and proud. Okay, and finally, this is the last thing I'm going to end with for the day, is here's your day one worksheet. And so how you show up, And this is how you show up is already telling us, the casting directors, what you can handle. So if you come in like Joe from our story, not prepared, can't find a page in the book, looks like they've never opened it before, we don't know if we can trust you to take the script home and memorize your lines. I'm sure you have many other talents, or if you've been in other shows with us, awesome, but you're still showing us that you can't handle a lead if you're not prepared, right? You're showing us how much you are willing to do at home, and when you're a lead, all that work is at home. We give the blocking, we give the moves, but the memorization is all up to you. That is what you have to be ready for. So that's why I also said, if this is your first time and you're like, I just kind of want to have fun, a little bit more relaxed rehearsal process, then that's okay. You don't have to go for Dorothy, because she does have a lot of lines. She has a lot to practice and memorize. So when we're in rehearsal, Dorothy can't always just be in this group like hanging out. She might have to be sitting on the side, memorizing, reviewing her lines before she gets back up on stage again. Okay, it's just the part of the responsibility as the leads. And that's where it says right here, the difference between a lead and ensemble isn't just lines, it's responsibility. And that starts right now. So if you go down onto section 1, first impressions and confidence, one word to describe how you want to be seen in the audition room. Yes? Circle 1, you can walk through all this, but what helps you feel more confident before performing? Okay, so what helps you feel more confident? Then I encourage you to start doing that. For me, it is a physical warm-up. It is reach my arms up to the sky, jog in place, run around the room, feel a little bit crazy. That's what I like to do, physical warm-up. But you pick out something for you. Section 2, audition outfit prep. What colors do you plan to wear? You can do that before you even go to your closet and pick something, but it doesn't have to be the same, right? Also, don't go buy something new. I'm sure you got something in your closet that would be just fine. And section 3, start your show research. Yeah, we said just watch the movie. Okay. And you do not need to submit that for me. This is for you. But if you want to, you certainly can. Anything this week, just send it to me in an email. If you're like, hey, I did this worksheet, I just want some accountability, or if you have any questions, I would love to see it. Send it to my email. Your parents all have my email, okay? And if not, it's on the website, cfpatheater.com. Let me look at some of these updated questions. Oh, Haley, no problem. If you can't pick it out yet, just do the worksheet. You can write down what colors, think about what you'd like to do, or you can even find a picture online of what would I like to be wearing? This, and take a screenshot and save that as in this is the vibe I want to wear. Okay. And that would be specifically for Wizard of Oz. Also, nothing too short, ladies, nothing too short, or this is an older musical. Yeah. We got to have class. No, you don't need to buy an outfit for auditions. No, look this is a pink shirt. There's nothing fancy going on here. Pink shirt, it's basic, gets the job done, and it's a shirt, and it doesn't have chocolate stains on it. Clean, ironed. I steamed it for you guys. Yeah, I steamed it. Okay, so make sure you're not that you're clean. You're clean, but nothing. No, you don't need to buy anything.
She wanted to ask if they're trying to audition for a certain part, is that the part that she should practice the lines for when she goes, or just practice any, it doesn't matter?
So first I would watch it or read it, but then once you get to the point of okay, this is the part I'm going out for, then you just focus on that person's lines. Okay, and so just focus on those lines. Now when you sing, you will sing exactly what you prepared, and we won't throw you a zinger. We want to hear exactly what you prepared, because like I said, we want you to be successful. But then when it comes to the acting sides, we want you to be ready with yours, but then we might say, hey, will you also read for this one? And will you read for this one? So there is more possibility that she could read a different page, but we always put into the preparation and the consideration for that very first one she did. And the other stuff is more for fun and to help some of the other actors in the room, because sometimes we are like, okay, we got a Tin Man and a Scarecrow. We need a Dorothy. Who can read for Dorothy? And we'll just take volunteers.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I think we're good. We are good to go. Thank you guys, and good luck. Hope you had fun today. Thanks for joining me. Hope you learned a little something. All right, bye-bye.